I was contemplating something that took me by surprise. I wanted to do a series of classes on a few of the attributes that Patanjali mentions in Sutra 1.33. Particularly today, one called compassion, karuna. And the reason why I was contemplating this, the reason why it felt so interesting for me, is because I was watching something on TV that really moved me. I mean, it was like one of these commercials about feeding children in Africa and all the kind of footage of starving children. My heart was so open, my eyes were wet. I had that moment of just pure karuna. That's what we call it, karuna. So it's pure compassion. But the reason why I was so baffled by it is because I've seen things subsequently and have felt nothing. And I started to question, why is it that I feel so compassionate sometimes, and then other times when something equally, would stir up compassion, or even more so, I have no feeling at all. In fact, even a little irritated. How's that for an admission? So what is it exactly about compassion where sometimes it feels so arbitrary? I don't particularly have an answer for that, but it was an interesting contemplation to a consideration. The sort of unpredictability of the feeling of compassion. What the yogis say is, can we cultivate a life in which compassion is a fundamental, permanent, ongoing condition that we live in, not just, here's actually what I thought, the solution I came up with, or, the conclusion. When things are going really well in my life, like I have enough money in the bank, I'm getting along with my parents, my friends, everything seems to be in place, then I feel like I have enough left over to be really compassionate. But if any of those things are out of sync, if I don't have enough money in the bank, I'm not getting along with people, things in my life aren't kind of lined up, I get very contracted and I don't have the capacity to include others in, in the wish for well-being. So this is what I've been considering, and I wanted to do backbends today because the compassionate backbend, I call it, because it's really about opening our hearts and doing them in a way that feels very soft and sweet. And what happens is when you open the heart on a physical level, something happens. There's an emotional shift. You can also go from the outside in. You can do a pose like a backbend and leave and be like, wow, I feel a shift. So we're going to do some compassionate backbends today as we kind of unpack this theme of karuna. Close your eyes. I want to read something, if I could, before we start moving and shaking. It's an excerpt from a book called Comfortable with Uncertainty by a Buddhist nun named Pema Chodron. She says that spiritual awakening is frequently described as a journey to the top of a mountain. We leave our attachments and our worldliness behind and slowly make our way to the top. And at the peak, we have transcended all pain. The only problem with this metaphor is that we leave all others behind. Their suffering continues unrelieved by our personal escape. But on the journey of the warrior, bodhisattva, the path goes down, not up, as if the mountain pointed towards the earth instead of the sky. And instead of transcending the suffering of all creatures, we move towards turbulence and doubt however we can. We explore the reality and the unpredictability of insecurity and pain, and we try not to push it away. If it takes years, if it takes a lifetime, we let it be as it is, at our own pace, without speed or aggression. We move down and down and down, and with us move millions of others, our companions in awakening from fear. And what we discover at the bottom is love. I make just one amendment to that just in my own studies, is that this path is not only going down into the world, but it is also going to spirit, to the transcendent. We can go deep into a very, very sweet space of exquisite consciousness through meditation, through volunteer work, and even through an asana practice, if we're mindful. But we don't stay there. See, that's the thing. So we do make a journey to a very, very sweet place in our own hearts, and then we make the great return back into the world. And hopefully this sadhana will allow us to live in a condition of karuna that is more permanent, more ongoing, not fickle, not unpredictable. Keeping our boundaries, but feeling deeply for humanity. Bring your hands to prayer at the heart. Let's do one very, very sweet Om together. Take a deep inhale. Jaya Jaya Karunabde Shri Mahadeva Shambho. May we dive into the ocean of consciousness, of compassion. Release your hands. Open your eyes. And let's start on all fours, hands and knees. Take a deep inhale, look forward, and stick your butt out nice and high. We're doing a back bend right here in the warm-up. Good. And then bow. Lift the kidneys nice and high. Stretching the spine. Inhale, look forward. Exhale and bow. So the cool thing is, if you know that we're doing some back bends, then that's sort of in your mind. You can put it in your body with every pose. Inhale, look forward. So everything becomes a warm-up, a preparation. Exhale and bow. Look at your belly button. Push the hands down and forward for leverage. Good. One more time. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, bow deeply. And look forward. Tuck your toes under and come to downward facing dog. Stretch back. Right. Separate your feet a little wider than your hips and bend the knees. Stick the butt up in the sky like you just did in the warm-up. Keep your arms strong. Lift the forearms up and lift the inner edges of your arms, your deltoids up to the sky. Keeping the knees bent, take a big exhale and melt, soften, move the heart towards your knees. Once again, keep the arms strong, lift the armpits higher, keep the knees bent. Exhale and soften, soften, soften. You're actually doing a back bend here just by softening and exhaling. From the base of your heart, stretch the arms stronger into the floor. Stay anchored in your hands and now press the heels back. Keep your heart as far in as you can, as melted as you can, as you point the heels back and down. Look forward and walk to the front of the mat. So let's be very, very clear and fierce even with our alignment, very, very precise with the foundation. The mound of the second toe in line with the middle of the ankle so we stay safe, so that we feel something very special in this practice. Take a deep inhale, look forward, let your thighs move back and your heart lift up, and then exhale, bow all the way down. Twice more, inhale, look forward. Exhale and fold. Again, inhale, look forward. Beautiful with the breath. Exhale and bow. Bring your hands to your waist, root down through the feet. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, release the hands. Inhale, float them up to the sky. Exhale, bow down, touch the floor. On fingertips, look forward, pull the heart forward, thighs back, exhale and bow, step back, downward facing dog. Virtually impossible to feel compassion for anyone if you don't have any for yourself. It's impossible. So this practice is actually about that. Be gentle and kind with yourself no matter how hard we work. It starts here in the observation of your breath, the observation of the way your muscles, your cells, your organs feel, the way the floor feels under your hands and feet. We get sensitive and more sensitive and more sensitive so that we want to feel more. Inhale, come to plank pose. Pull your forearms towards each other. Pull your feet and legs towards each other, isometrically. Let the heart soften and melt slightly toward the floor. Keep the arms straight. And downward facing dog. You're like, dude, where's the next instruction? Bend your knees, look forward, walk or jump to the top. Deep inhale, look forward. Exhale and bow. Inhale, lift the arms, stretch up. Big stretch. Root down, lift up and back. Right, tailbone down, lift the belly, stretch all the way back. As far, it's pretty early in the practice, just as far as you can go. Be gentle, be mindful. Exhale, bow all the way down, touch the floor. Deep inhale, look forward. Exhale, bow. Good, step back, plank pose once again. On your next exhale, lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Stretch the legs out. Good, Cobra Pose. It's a back bend here. Cobra is a back bend. Head back, ears back, downward facing dog. So we do little back bends throughout the class, so at no point will you actually have to say, well, when are we getting to the back bends? You already just did a few of them already. Come to plank pose. Lower down. Cobra pose. Stretch legs back, pull heart forward, lift up and back, ears back, curl back, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward. Bring your right arm up to the sky. Right arm up to the sky. Looking to the right, lean back, stacking shoulder upon shoulder, right? Moving the right armpit back to stretch the upper part of the chest. So what we're doing in a back bend is we're opening the front of the body. We have to strengthen the back of the body, all right? If you're feeling a little weak in the back of the body, we have to strengthen the muscles in the back and open the front. Take your right arm over your ear. Good, root the tailbone down, lift the belly, and then turn a little bit more to the right. Lean the head back and pop the heart to the right through the arm bones. Bring your right hand down and step back to plank pose. Lower down to Chaturanga. Cobra pose. Yes, on forearms or hands. And downward facing dog. Left foot forward. Left arm up to the sky. Tell you what, walk your right hand a little bit to the right. Yeah, it might come off the mat. Give yourself some space because you might be able to lean back a little bit more. And can you take that armpit back, lift the chin, slide the throat back evenly, and take your left arm over your ear. On your last exhale here, bring your awareness to your right lung and wrap your right lung to the sky. Last breath, straight arm in the top, left arm is straight, nice hill. Downward facing dog, step back, downward facing dog. The floor awaits you at any moment for child's pose if you need it. That's part of being compassionate. Come to plank. Lower down to Chaturanga. Make the legs long and pull the heart forward for Cobra Pose. All right, the shoulder blades are going to move down the back and you're going to lift the heart up, lift your collarbones up from behind. Nice, Susan. Downward facing dog. Tuck your toes under, up and back. Move back. Bend your knees, look forward, and walk or jump to the top. Inhale, look forward. Exhale and bow. Bend your knees halfway down. Hook your thumbs. So you're in a chair pose, and hook your thumbs like this. Kamsa. How's that? Little words. Bend your elbows a little bit out to the side. Good. Pull your thumbs apart isometrically as you pull your elbows apart. And as you scoop the tailbone, keep your legs low. Just lift your heart a little bit higher, but keep the legs exactly as they are, almost so they're parallel, even with the floor. Good. Pull the arms back a little bit more and pop your heart forward. That's it. Lift up a little higher. Sit down a little bit lower. Take one more breath. Root down. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, bow all the way down. Touch the floor. Inhale, look forward. Exhale and bow. Step back to plank. Lower to Chaturanga. Cobra Pose. Inner edges of the hands down. Lift the heart and curl back. Curl back even through the palate more. Yes, downward facing dog. Lift up and back. Bend your knees, get very, very low. Let your knees come almost to the floor. Stick your butt out. There you go. Look forward and pounce to the top. Great. Inhale, look forward. Exhale and bow. Inhale, lift your arms all the way up. Big breath. Hands to prayer right at the heart. All right, take your strap if you have one. If you don't, you can go get one. Just for a moment. And just stagger yourself so you don't hit anybody. Now, depending on the shoulders, how tight your shoulders are, mine are actually very tight. You're going to just hold the strap like this. Why don't we just start about like this? And you don't have to fold it or do any kind of crazy thing with it. Lift the strap up over your head. I can already tell that I need to widen my grip. Root the tailbone down, lift the heart, and take the strap back without doing any of this. Just to about here. Just to about here. Excellent. Tailbone down, lift the belly, lift the heart up. Look up at the sky, do a little back bend right here. Yes, and then bring the strap all the way back to hit your butt. Inhale, lift up, pause just behind your head, move the shoulder blades onto the back, and lift, literally lift your collarbones and your heart up to the sky, and then all the way forward. If your shoulders start to get more open, then you can walk your hands closer together. Mine are going to stay exactly where they are. Lift your arms up to the sky. Bring them back slightly, right? Lift your chin a little bit. Tailbone down, lift the floor of the pelvis. Even pull the strap apart. Keep the heart lifted, keep the heart lifted. Look at the sky, baby back bend, and then take that strap all the way back. All the way back up. Pause, lift, and all the way forward. One more time. Up, Here's the sticking point. I go over the head, just behind the head a little bit, pull the strap, pull your arms away from each other, move the shoulder blades onto the back, and then lift your heart up from behind, and then go all the way back. Slowly, all the way back up. Compassion, and all the way down. All right. Bring your... That elicited more response than I expected. Inhale, lift the arms straight up to the sky. They're going to float up. You're going to thank God. And then exhale, bow forward and touch the floor. Look forward on the inhale. Exhale and bow. Good. Step back, downward facing dog. Bring your feet together. Lift your right leg up in the sky. Bend the right knee. Good. And open all the way up. Touch the person on the left with your foot, or try. Good. Stretch and stretch and stretch. Now take that right knee and bring it all the way to your nose. So you're in a, let's say, plank pose with a very rounded back. Lift that right heel a little bit higher. Good. And then place that right foot right between your hands. Then bring your hands on your waist. And lift your torso up. Bring your arms out to the side, like this. Here you go. And then turn your palms back all the way around and clasp your hands. Good. Elaine, you can take your right foot a little to the right for balance. Take the shoulders back, shoulder blades digging into the back of the heart. Stretch your hands behind you, away from your butt, toward the wall. Lower your front leg and lift the heart nice and high, clasped. Bend the front knee a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Tailbone down, lift the heart. Now slowly lift the arms over your head. Last breath, pull the armpits back, pull the thumbs back. Last breath, stretch not only back but up. And then bring the hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Left leg up. Bend the left knee and open up. Good. You're going to touch the person to your right, if you can. That's it. Look underneath your left arm. There you go. And twist a little bit more this way. Take this back. Yes. Now take your left foot, your left knee towards your nose. Pause here for a moment. Hold it in. And silently place that left foot all the way down. Good. Come up once again. Hands on the waist. This time interlace in the other way. Whatever feels like the funky way. It'll feel like you're missing a finger. You know. Bend your front knee. Good. You can keep your hands at your back just for a moment, just resting on your butt or your sacrum. As you bend your front knee, take a deep inhale. Take the shoulders back. Take the shoulders, the bottom tips forward into the back of the heart. Lift your heart up from behind. Lift your collarbones up. There you go. Nice. And now stretch your arms behind you, clasped. Look at the sky. One more breath here. Curl all the way up and back, all the way up and back. Now release the hands up, like you had that strap in your hands. Good. And lift all the way up and back. Bend your front knee more. There you go. Take the tailbone and lift your left belly off your left thigh. Last breath. Curl back, lean back, straight elbows, and bring the hands down. Step back, downward facing dog. Come to plank pose. Lower Chaturanga. Come all the way onto your stomach. Take your palms, your hands a little bit further away on your fingertips. Take a deep inhale, push the feet down, push the fingertips down, wide cobra. Good. Become brighter on the inside. Take a deep inhale. Soften right between the shoulder blades and then curl back more. That's really important. So you're not jamming the back bend here. Take another deep inhale. Lower a little bit as you soften between the shoulder blades on the exhale and curl, curl, curl. Another breath. Stretch your arms a little bit straighter. Come all the way down. Come to downward facing dog. Some are doing push-ups up, some are peeling very slowly off the floor. Right foot forward, warrior two. Good, Renee, bend your front knee a little bit more. Sweetly and compassionately. And just take your right knee a little bit to the right. There we go. Bring your hands down to the floor in front of your right foot. So both hands, there you go, and bring your palms out this way. So it's almost like you're doing downward facing dog with your hands a little bit to the left. You can put your palms completely on the floor and stretch them as far as you can. You can stretch them like Hill's doing all the way here. Good, lift your toes up. Squeeze the legs, especially the bottom portion of the legs. Squeeze your feet together to the midline, scissor them. And from the power of your legs, a very, very soft and very, very sweet opening in the hips as you take your butt back, take your inner and outer thighs back. You can bring your heel down. There you go. Now scoop your tailbone, take your right hip back and under, stretch your legs a little longer. And to come back to warrior two, you can also bring your right hand onto your thigh to come back or come straight up to warrior two. Stretch the right leg straight. Triangle pose. Yeah, you can go onto a block or you can bring your hand to the, let's bring our hands to the outside. Take the left hand to the back of your head. So your elbow is pointing toward the wall that you're looking at. Root the left armpit straight back, left shoulder blade digging into the back of the heart, and turn up to the sky. Turn your eyes to the sky, turn your belly to the sky. Lift the left arm back up. One more breath. Downward facing dog. Step back. Come to plank. Why not? Softly lower down. Cobra pose. Downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward, warrior two. Right heel down. Extraordinary practices, you guys, extraordinary. And breathing, extraordinaire. Bring both hands down diagonally to the right upper corner of the room in sort of a 2 o'clock. Stretch the arms out, palms flat down. So it's like a warrior two in the legs, but a downward dog in the upper body in this way. Lift the toes just to remember to bring some muscular strength into the legs. Stick your butt out. Let the right thigh bone move back in space, and even the left, actually. Good. Maintain that. Now, scoop the tailbone, and that will mean taking the left hip back and wrapping it underneath your left femur bone. The head of your femur bone is wrapped by your left seat. Stretch the legs long, keep the left knee bent. And now slowly come up to warrior two. If you need to lean first, that's okay, because it's a lot. Scott's like, yeah, I think I'll put that hand there. Straighten the left leg. Good. Keep the legs very, very strong. Shift forward. Trikonasana. Bring your right hand behind your head. Good. So your elbow and your arm are going to be pretty close to your face. So as if I was pushing your elbow back toward the wall behind you, just root that right armpit back so the shoulder blade moves onto the back, the inner border moves on the back, and you're popping your heart through. There's a back bend here. Just pushing your head back into your hand, you can activate those muscles. Now lift the right arm up. For this one, let's take that right arm over the ear just for a moment. There you go. Turn the left lung to the sky, stretch up to the sky. One more breath. Excellent. Bring the hand down, downward facing dog. Shift to plank. Lower down. Good. Cobra pose. And downward facing dog. Tuck the toes under, move back. Bend your knees, look forward, and walk or jump to the top. Your choice. Or that little pouncing thing we did. Glide the heart forward, look forward. Exhale and bow. Inhale, lift the arms. Hands to prayer at the heart, and just close your eyes for a moment. With the eyes closed, let the arms just drop down toward the sides, just for about 30 seconds or a minute. Because every time we move, we also have to feel. Otherwise, we're bypassing the whole experience. Is there any moment where you feel like you've been harsh with yourself, where you can be softer and kinder? We hear quite often the same thing, like yoga allows you to be more of yourself, or, you have to dive into your anger and your addictions and your fear, and yes. And that always seemed like half the story to me, because I was like, well, why exactly? Why exactly do we have to walk through the fire like this? And really, I realized that the reason is because when we walk into the fire of our own anger and fear and sadness and all that cruddy stuff, it cracks the heart open and it enables us to be more compassionate for those who are feeling the same way. It's not just some self-indulgent wallowing in our own stuff. The second half of the equation is, well, now that I felt it, how can I be more understanding to help others? Inhale, lift your arms up to the sky. Exhale, bow to the floor. Inhale, look forward. Exhale and fold. Good. Step back, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up in the sky. Bring the right knee to your nose. So we work in a little core work, just like that. And kind of stick it in a little bit, like a sabotage. Bring the right foot all the way through. Good. Bring your left knee to the floor, top of the left foot down, and bring both arms up to the sky. So push you can take the top of the foot down. You don't have to, so you get even a bigger stretch in your left thigh. Lunge deeply. Bring your hands to prayer behind your head, just like this. Root the tailbone down. Lift the belly. Push your head back into your hands and begin to curl. So we're localizing, for lack of a better word, we're localizing the curl and the opening in the upper chest. So tailbone moves down, take it out of the low back, and let's redirect and funnel this back bend into the upper back, across the chest. Lift your arms up, lunge deeper. One last breath, take the armpits back, bring the hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left foot up. Exhale, knee to nose. If you want to juice this up a little bit, come more into plank pose. Get lower and bring your shoulders more over your wrists. Left foot all the way through to your hands. Good. Bring the right knee down. This time, take the edges of your mat and pull up. Squeaky, squeaky, squeaky. Good. Lunge a little bit deeper. There you are. Take a deep inhale. Lift the shoulders with the inhale. Take the bottom tips of the shoulder blades, move them down the back, and lift the heart up and lunge very, very deeply. You can even bend your elbows out to the side. And as you push your right foot down and drag your right knee isometrically forward, you'll feel more stretch in your right thigh. Lean the head back, curl all the way back. You can even take your hands behind you more on the mat. Pull the mat up to get leverage to dig the shoulder blades into the back. And release. Make your mat pretty again, and then come to downward facing dog. Good. Walk to the front of the mat. Slide down on your back for a moment. No funny ideas here. So you can take your right leg up and cross it over as a twist. And you're going to bend your left knee and grab the top of your left foot with your right hand. So we've got somewhat of a thigh stretch going on in your bottom right leg here. Left leg, sorry. Some of you might be able to hold the foot of your right leg. Otherwise, you can just hold the outside of the knee or the shin. So pull your bottom foot closer to your butt. Scoop the tailbone. Now here's the thing. Since we're doing such a twist here with the top leg to the left, take a deep inhale, look to the right, and soften your right ribs down toward the floor. In fact, not only soften those right ribs to the floor, but move the inner border of your right shoulder blade up into your heart. So there's a little back bend going here as you soften your ribs, your right ribs toward the floor. You can take your top leg closer to your ear. And release. Second side. Left leg straight across the body. My arms are a little too short to hold it's not my hamstrings. My arms are too short. You're going to bend your right leg. Grab your right foot with your left hand and pull in for the thigh stretch. Turn your head to the left, over your left shoulder. As you pull your legs apart, actually, it's almost like a Hanuman thing going on here, twisted Hanuman. Let your left ribs soften as you exhale, so your left side body can even get toward the floor, even though your leg is twisting to the right on the top. Take your left shoulder blade, bottom tip, move it down, and lift the heart up to the sky, even as you continue to soften the left ribs down. And release. Good. All right, stay on your back. Pashimotanasana. Okay, you actually might have to come up for a second. So you're going to sit on your butt, take your fingertips and point them towards your feet, towards your heels. I feel like this is a pose I rarely teach. So I came across, I'm like, oh my God, Pashimotanasana. Shoulders back, and we're going to lift up. Pashimotanasana means east. It means east, and the east is mapped out on the body as the front of the body. So this is an Eastern stretch pose. Pashimotanasana, sometimes called tabletop. Let your head move back. Take a deep inhale. Heads of the arm bones, fronts of the shoulders, they move back. Lift your tailbone a little bit higher. Yeah, as high as you can get. Very, very nice. And come on down. We're going to do that 2 more times. All right. Second time, walk your feet out a little bit so your legs are still bent. Spread your fingers and lift the hips up. Good. Separate your feet just a little bit. There you go. Let the head lean back. And come on down. This is one of those poses that feels so uncomfortable and kind of tight, but it does wonders for opening the shoulders. And once more, this time, if you can walk your feet completely out and do it, some of you can even touch your feet, your toes onto the floor. Yeah, if you can look here, feet on the floor or close to it, like that. Now we really have the front of the body stretching. Nice, Scott. Lift the hips and tailbone a little higher. Yes. And come all the way down. Good, all right. Good. Let's come to downward facing dog. Since we've just finished stretching the eastern part of our body, the front of the body. Come to plank pose. Lower down. Bend both knees and grab onto the feet. There you go. Look forward. Move the tailbone toward the knees. Lift the heart. Pull the feet back and lift up. And come on down. That was quick. That come down. You're like, bend your knees again. Pull the feet back. This automatically opens the shoulders. And take it out of the low back. We're going to lengthen the tailbone toward the back of the room and pull your belly forward. Stay here. Now roll onto your right side. Yes, roll onto the right side. Oh, wow, you're almost there. Yes. Good. Lift your left leg a little bit higher. You can separate the feet. There you go. Lean the head back. Then all the way onto your stomach. The guys hate this pose. And then all the way to the left. Good. We're doing Parsva here. One more breath. All the way onto your stomach. Once more, just lift the legs a little higher, you got it. And release. Okay, just bring your head to one side and release. Even I have compassion. Let's come back to downward facing dog. And press back. Come to plank and lower down slowly. I tell you what, actually, come to plank pose. Bring the tops of your feet down like this. Let's bypass Chaturanga And just slowly, slowly, slowly soften your pelvis toward the floor so you end up in an upward facing dog. Bring your pelvis all the way to the floor, knees to the floor. Come onto your fingertips. Bend your knees. Lift yourself off the floor. Take a deep, deep inhale, right? So your hips are off the floor completely. Just your knees and your fingertips really are on the floor. And lean the head back and curl the feet all the way up and over like this. Yeah. And come on down. Good. Come to downward facing dog. Look forward and walk or jump to the top. Inhale, look forward. Exhale and bow. Inhale, lift the arms. Big stretch up. Hands to prayer at the heart. Let's do one Om together. Take a deep inhale. Good. Release your hands. Lie down on your backs. Let's do a bridge pose. Bridge pose with your straps. So take your strap. And we're going to put the strap actually around our ankles. So again, you don't have to kind of loop it in any particular way, just so that you can hold both sides of the strap. Honestly, if you're very open, you can do this by holding your ankles. So if you really feel like you can do this and hold your ankles easily, then by all means you can do it like that. Otherwise, many of us find a strap to be a little more helpful. Lift your hips up. You're pushing your back of your head down. Whether you're holding your ankles or you're holding a strap, pull your ankles towards your head. In this way, you can get the shoulder blades to move a little bit more easily onto your back. And Scott, that's amazing. It almost feels like you're in a shoulder stand here without the legs up. Good, Carol, straighten your feet a little bit. There you go. Lift your chin. There you go. Take a few more breaths as you take the heart toward your chin, not chin toward heart. Keep pulling your ankles towards you to get the shoulder blades to lift the heart and the collarbones up. Last breath here, and lower down. Now that's a bridge pose. All right. Bring your knees up to your chest for a moment. Good. Come on up. Come to a seated position. Actually stand on your knees. Before we do some urdhvas, I think a camel pose. I'm thinking, let's see how it goes. Tuck your toes under. Let your palms face open. And you're going to keep your legs strong, but it's this area here, right here, that I want to get soft with the breath. As I said just for a moment a little bit earlier in class, so we're not starting with just like kind of jamming muscularly to lift the heart up, but rather a very sweet, even compassionate softness that comes where the curl can get deeper and deeper and deeper before we start adding on and layering on our own strength. So with the palms down, just like this, take a deep inhale, exhale, and just soften a little bit and look up to the sky. Just tip the ears back a little bit and open the heart. Yeah, the arms can come out slightly to the sides. There you go. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, just soften. It's like you're giving up the fight. Once more, inhale. Softly exhale and soften between the shoulder blades and curl the head back a little bit more. And now you can gently reach around. You don't even have to do anything fancy with the arms. Your heels should be very, very close. Touch heel and heel. Yes. Now keep the thighs moving back. Your hips can come forward a little bit. You can take the head back slightly. Take another deep inhale. Curl back with the exhale. Lift the heart a little bit higher. And then root down, inhale, come all the way back up. Head last. Do you guys feel that in the beginning? The sort of the softness, the ability to get a little bit deeper with softness. Instead of like, okay, let's just like, oh. It's sort of a few rounds of just a surrender that's, I can curl. You can really curl deeply just by I'm really not even doing anything yet. I have their tailbone rooting. It's rather passive. And then the rest of the way, then we can start adding on and using our muscles to get the shoulder blades to move up towards the roof, the ceiling. Let's do another Ustrasana with the tops of your feet down. If that was difficult for you, then you can tuck the toes under. Otherwise, next phase, tops of the feet down. Arms out to the side. Here you go. Now we do squeeze the muscles of the legs, all right, to protect the low back. Keep hugging your shins toward the midline. Take a deep inhale. Breathe all the way up into the center of the upper thoracic, really. And then exhale, lean the head back. Let your arms just kind of dangle a little bit to the side. There you go. And curl. Take a deep inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale and curl. One more time. Inhale. Good. Shoulder blades move gently into the back. And now you can touch your heels. Tip the head back just a little bit more. Ben, I got you over here. You can also use a block. Put your hands here. Last breath. Bring your hips a little more forward. Soften with the exhale. Lift the heart all the way up, out of the low back and into the upper thoracic behind the heart. And then root down, come all the way up. Good. Yes, you can sit down on your heels for a moment. The trick with the back bend, one of the hardest things is to take it out of the low back. All right, because we have a natural curve here, a back bend is naturally going to want to go right here. So what we're doing is we're rooting the tailbone. We're actually lengthening the low back and shooting the back bend up here, right here in the heart where we need it most. Like that. Rooting down, tailbone down, lifting up. It's active. It's not just a passive. It's partly with the breath, but we also have to extend up. And then we're curling from the mouth here, down, and lifting the back bend here, not back here. Right? Root, lift, curl. It's like this thing keeps going up even as you go back. Back bend's right here. It's not here. Just right here. Lie on your backs. Yeah. Place your hands in line with your ears and bend your knees. Close your eyes for one moment. And let's do a few of these Urdhva Dhanurasanas for someone who needs your love, who needs your support. Actually, that someone might be you, to be honest. To support yourself. Be kind to yourself. Soften a little bit more so your armpits will just deepen toward the floor and your shoulder blades will start caressing the back of your heart. Now dig your fingertips into the floor. Get strong in the arms. On 3, you're just going to come to the top of your head. 1, 2, 3, to the top. Pause. We stay here for a moment so we can straighten out the foundation so we're more in alignment. Your armpits will move toward the front of the room. Spread your fingers. 1, 2, 3. Root down through your hands. Lift up with your upper back. I got you in a second. All right. Last breath here. Pull the forearms towards each other. Heart to the back of the room. Walk your feet out. And come all the way down. Here. You can use my...
I can't do it because of my elbow.
All right, so even on ankles?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. How about another bridge pose then? Okay. All right, number 2. Place your hands. Here, I have you right here. You can hold on to my ankles. Deep inhale. Exhale, soften first. Soften your armpits toward the floor. Now grip the floor. You're going to move the energy from the fingertips up the forearms, all the way up into the shoulders, integrating arms into the back of the heart, and come up to the top of your head. Good. Pause here. Integrate shoulders into the very back of the heart. 1, 2, 3. Lift all the way up. Yes. Right there is good. And come on down. Who else here can use the assist of my ankles? I only have 2. I can only have 2 ankles.
I need to get up.
Okay. You can use my ankles here. We can get you halfway up. Place your hands. Here, you pause for a moment. I'm going to work with them. Come to the top of your head. Now, before you come up, come a little bit more toward your nose, right? More toward your forehead. So your heart's already slightly more vertical. Take your armpits toward the front of the room. Use your upper back muscles, that would be trapezius and rhomboids, and push all the way up. Yes. Walk your feet forward. Walk your feet forward. Yes, away from the head. So your legs are longer. Take the thigh bones down and then curl all the way through the palate, all the way through the upper back. And slowly, slowly come on down. When you're resting, bring your legs out completely. Rest your legs out completely. Here, let me get you here. You can hold on to my ankles. Here you go. Come to the top of your head. Root down, and then come as high. Yeah, there you go. Take one more breath here. Well done. And down. You're very welcome. I feel like one more. I know I just waited too long. I was helping someone and now, but it's never too late. Do one more. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. So your choices are bridge pose, your choices are the same Urdhva Dhanurasana we did, and then your third choice is Ekapada, one leg, which I'll walk you through. Spread your fingers. 1, 2, 3 to the top of your head. That's your first landing pad. There you go. Come towards your forehead. 1, 2, 3. Remember, not looking at the ceiling. Keep looking at your ankles. Soften as you get your heart to move more toward the back of the room. Good. You can bring your feet slightly together for those who are going to go to the next step. Take your right knee in towards your chest. Pause here. Curl deeper like this, and then straighten the right leg. That's it. Bring the right foot down. Left foot up. So you're curling deeper in the chest with the leg bent. Left knee up, bend it, pull the heart through, and now slow stretch all the way up and all the way down. Walk your feet out. I say bravo to all of you. And bring the legs all the way out. And come up to a seated position. That was awesome to see from my perspective. Cross your left knee over your right. Let's just do a twist here. Left knee over right. Right arm over left knee. And twist. And squeeze your legs together. And on the next 3 exhales, take your left shoulder back. But use this twist originating from the right kidney, wrapping around. Good. Lift your head a little bit. Take a deep inhale. Untwist. Look to the front. And switch legs. Left arm up and cross it over. And twisting to the right. Keep going with the twists. I find sometimes with twists, especially these seated twists, that we tend to we kind of check out and we stop twisting. We just hit one point and then we stop. So take a very, very deep inhale and then soften. When you empty out the air, you can twist just a little bit deeper. Good, Renee. Take a deep inhale. Look to the front. Good, and untwist. Nice. Janu Shirsasana, take your left leg forward, right knee back. Inhale deeply. You can take your left inner thigh and root it straight down into the floor. And spin your belly over your left knee and bow forward. Yes, there are blocks, there are straps if you need a strap to extend. How's your psoas, Carol? Okay, all right. So come up halfway, just a little bit. Take your right kidney back, and you can even take your right hand to the outer edge of your left foot for a little bit of a twist here. You would spin your belly over your left thigh and then soften all the way down. Soften the heart all the way down and forward. There we go. Inhale, come all the way up, and let's switch sides. Right foot forward, left knee back. Look at this sweaty section over here. And bow forward. And inhale, come all the way up. Both legs straight out. Upavista. In many ways, hip openers are stretches like these because they require us to move so slowly. This is where we can really practice compassion for ourselves. When things get hard and rather quick, we can miss a lot. But here, there's a moment to moment awareness as to what your boundary and what your threshold is. You meet yourself right there where it is, and you don't fight fire with it. You actually soften into it. All right? Not like this. Here, lift your toes up. Take the outer edges of your feet back and lift your heart nice and high. So a nice big curve in the low back. It's almost like you're pulling your feet towards each other isometrically, except they're stuck on the mat. And then bow all the way down. You walk your hands forward. Let's stay here for another minute. I know. Inhale, come all the way up. So since we stretched the eastern side of our body earlier, now we stretch the western side of our body, which is the back of the body. Pashimotanasana. You bring your feet straight out. Take a deep inhale. Good, rooting down, inner edges of the feet, heels inner knees, inner thighs, and bow. You just place your hands just to the extent that you can keep the low spine moving in and up. There'll be a natural rounding, of course. But if your thigh bones are lifting, if your knees are buckling, then perhaps you need not go as far as the feet. Can I borrow this for a moment? And inhale and come all the way up. Can we end with a little restorative? Would that be nice? Please. Let's do this. This is one of my favorite restoratives because it actually has a little bit of a back bend to it. So we'll do this for a few minutes before we do a little meditation and Shavasana. Okay, you're going to bring your bolster down like this. Now, the reason why I have a block, you can bring your block to extend the bolster. Sometimes I've seen bolsters that are long enough where you don't need the block. If you're at home doing this and you have one of these long bolsters, then you will not need the block. Otherwise, you have a bolster and a block like this. You're going to take your strap. I'm sitting toward the end of the bolster here. The strap goes over your head, around the back, inside your legs, and around your feet. Strap management is so hard. I know, it's like the hardest part. And I'm going to come around and help you guys. So, the strap is around your waist, through the inside of the thighs, and supporting the outer edges of your feet. And I keep the buckle on the side so I can tighten as necessary, or loosen as necessary. You're going to maneuver yourself so that when you lay down, your shoulder blades and your head, well, the bottom tips of the shoulder blades are just at the edge of the bolster. Your shoulders and your head are completely down on the floor. This is the visual I'm giving you here. So you're in Supta Baddha Konasana, but your feet are raised on the same level as you. So your feet and your back, your butt, they're all on the same plane, elevated. And there's an ever so gentle back bend happening here. This restorative is fantastic. It empties out the stomach, even if you've just eaten. It stretches the stomach. We're in a very, very mild back bend. Do you want to keep up, or do you want to put your shoulders? So you want to, okay, so you're going to put your butt on the edge. There you go. Here, stay there. This is going to go here. There. I know. And then you maneuver so that your shoulders and head, that's it. And your arms are just out to the side with the palms up. And then you can. So it's restorative, but there's still a little bit of work, I'm putting in quotes, because there's a slight back bend. It's nice to come out of the back bend. Do you need more here? Okay.
With the strap. Right above it. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Mark, is the neck, the cervical spine neutral or back?
It's not back so much. It actually should be like here.
More forward?
Yeah, I would say you want your head, or even, and try it the other way. Move the other way. Yeah, all the way, all the way. Even more, even more. Even more.
Oh, I get you.
That's
I
it.
get you.
Yes. Exactly. So your chin should not be far up. So the whole back of your head is on the floor, as are the shoulders. There you go. You could even slide a little bit there. There we go. Who else can I help here? It's too much on your low back. With the legs out? Okay. Here, do this then. You can come up. And we'll just do the simple one. You can sit right here with your butt here and just lie. There we go. I just ask that if you have your arms over your head, that's a little heating. So yeah, they can come out to the sides, even here, but over the head, the heart still has to work a little bit. Oh, let's see. Yeah, if your hands are here, the heart still works. I want you guys to really... I know there's no room. We'll be here about 5 more minutes before we do a short Shavasana. All right, so you want... Here, let me just do this here. So you're going to sit at the very edge on here. Yeah. Okay. Yes. You're going to sit on top. There you go. And then all of this has to come off. You have to come all the way up, all the way, even more, even more, even more. Even more. There you go. So these should be on the floor. That's okay. There you go. That's better. There we go. And now very slowly, you can bring your legs together, remove the strap. Gently roll to the right to come off. It's a little bit of a drop, so be careful. You can move the bolster out of the way, because we certainly want to end in a traditional neutral spine for the final minutes of Shavasana. Some of you would like to put the bolster underneath the knees. That also feels nice for the low back. you move your awareness back into your breath, and back into this moment, you can begin to slowly stretch your arms over your head. Bend your knees, roll to the right-hand side. And slowly back up to a seated position. We'll sit for just a few minutes in meditation. So if you'd like to sit on your bolster, you can, or you can sit right on the floor. If your hips are open, your back is open. Your hands just resting on your knees, and your head and your neck and your pelvis in line. And allow yourself to experience the breath in all its dimensions. So it moves down deep into the belly, into the pelvis. And feel the sensation of the breath in the back of the body, in the back of the heart, back of the kidneys, back of the lungs. So the back of the body is inflating just as much as the front. As you inhale, even laterally, the ribs move away from each other, from right to left. So you can experience the rib cage pulsing, making room for the diaphragm to lower with every inhale. So you're pulsing front and back, expanding side to side. And even up and down, so the ribs get more space with every inhale. Front and back, side to side, up and down, diagonally. And keeping your eyes soft in the back of your head, not pushed forward into the eyelids, just very, very softly in the back. Just bring your awareness right between the eyebrows, the third eye. But allow that gaze to be soft. Perhaps you see something there, perhaps a color, a dot, a little point of light. Keep the breath steady, smooth. If you feel any hardening, come back to effortlessness. Just breathing, awareness to third eye. We can move to this very, very sweet and exquisite place. This is not a place outside of ourselves. It is a very, very deep space within consciousness that is nothing but us. It is from this space that we can listen, that we can feel, that we can understand. so that when we make our great journey back into the world, we take with us this understanding, this deep compassion, this karuna, so that more and more, excuse me, it can become the ongoing, permanent condition of our lives. The sutras tell us that it is an ongoing condition that gets covered, latent, in remission quite often. And part of our sadhana is to enact it, enliven it, ignite it. Bring your hands to prayer right at your heart. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. Namaste.